Hello everyone, I'm Rachel Tessman from stampyourartout.com. I'm grabbing something right now. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Andover, Minnesota in the US, and I'm here to bring you a live paper crafting class. I'm so excited to be here. I was so excited that I pressed go on my little button here for my iPad before I had my little script in front of me. But now it's in front of me. It is Wednesday, September 20th, 2023, as I'm coming to you live, and I'm going to show you a fun card that I came up with when I was playing around with my favorite stamp set. And I created this card over 2 months ago. I thought I was going to share it at an event called Creative Connections, and I ended up deciding not to, thinking, no, I got to save it for later. There was just too much to show. So anyways, how is everyone today? I can see that we've got viewers on Facebook and on YouTube as the comments are rolling in, so that's great. Let's give a warm welcome to Trisha Josephs on YouTube. She is my moderator. She's there to answer questions because live comments can't be responded to after the live is done. So she's there to connect and be my voice. Thank you, Trisha. And then we also have Lisa Marshall on Facebook. So a big welcome to those gals who are my right-hand women. Is that what right-hand man, right-hand women? Yeah, we can say that, right? Some of you know that old phrase. I invite you to like, to comment, and to subscribe. If you comment, you get entered into the prize drawing that we do at the end of the live. Let's see, what am I going to share today? So I'm sharing a card that I'm calling a column card. C-O-L-U-M-N. A column card basically is a card that has a column in it. And I'm calling it a square column card because I can see others going up beyond and changing it to make it like a six-sided little section in the middle, or, you know, a triangle or something like that. But this column helps to hold the card up so you can put your card on display. And it also folds flat to fit it into an envelope so you can mail it. Now, the one that I'm going to share today, I recommend mailing in a bubble mailer, and you'll see why soon, just with the products that are on it. I'm going to be using my favorite stamp set called Layering Leaves. Some of you know this stamp set. It just debuted in the 2023 through 24 annual catalog put out by Stampin' Up! This May. And this is the stamp set that I had a hand in designing. It's my Million Achiever stamp set, so Million Sales Achiever. When you reach a million in sales in your career, you get to help create a stamp set. And so this was really fun. Layering Leaves, I love green, I love leaves. There's lots of sentiments on it. It's a stamp set that has all occasion kinds of sentiments so that you can use this as kind of a base stamp set in your collection of products. And it helps to supplement a lot of different designs that you might want to do, because you can put a leaf under anything. So, so that is my stamp set that we're going to share. I'm also going to be using the coordinating bow punch, which in the US market, it's on back order, sorry to say, but there are others out there that can still get it right now. We just have to wait a little longer in the US. And, oh, thanks, Angela. I'm glad that you joined my live. First time, yay. Oh, if you see anybody's comments out there that are saying that this is their first live, will you please chime in and say welcome to them on my behalf, because I'm not going to catch all the comments. But anyways, I'm so excited that you came. Thank you. I'm also going to be using the exposed brick embossing folder. That's a really popular product. And the vintage shaker domes along with the vintage bottle punch. So some fun stuff that we're going to be putting together here to make this column card. And I think I've got everything business-wise out of the way. So let's bring up the supply list. This is a supply/measurement PDF. It's got some visuals on it, and you will be able to print this off if you go to my blog post that's connected to this video soon after the live is done. So it's what, 11:05 right now? Central Time. So 12:15 is when my blog posts typically air, which is about an hour and 15 minutes after the live begins. So you'll be able to click on that link. The link is already there if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook, I will transfer that information over after the live. You can also catch that information. I usually, when I post that my live is going to be happening, there's couple events that happen. There's like an event that's already on my events section, and then another event shows up. So you can always click on that second one and you can see the link there if you want to get it beforehand. But I try to get it posted before the blog post goes live. You can click on it and then you can actually download this whole sheet, print it off, put it in a paper file, or you can keep it on your computer. It's got the visuals of the project that I'm going to share, the name of it, the date, and then of course the measurements and supplies that I listed earlier. Some of these supplies are clickable, except for things like sticky notes, because we don't sell those. Stampin' Up! Does not sell them, but I'm going to be using them, so we have to list them. And look at the supplies. There's only basically one color of cardstock. So we're going to be creating beautiful colors within that white cardstock. I'm using the thick because I think it's more sturdy for a card base, but you could definitely use the regular basic white cardstock. There is a greater than sign here. Do you see that? That means that we want to go just a little above the 1 1/8 inches on that measurement. So that's what that means. And if you want to be technical about it, it's 1 3/16. Okay. What else do I want to mention here? I think that's it. We've got a couple different blending brushes. I listed the regular and the small, but you can use either one. Just depends on what you're most comfortable with. Thanks. Yes, thanks for the reminder, Carol. Thumbs up. Okay, we're going to move now to the desktop. So here's the stamp set. I'm just moving something on my computer here. Here's the stamp set that we're going to be using. It's called Layering Leaves, and I own quite a few of them. So I wanted to show you what I did with one of my sentiments. So the one that says Sending Hugs, my favorite, I cut it into 2 pieces on one of my sets. So in this one here, I actually have it in 2 pieces instead of the way it comes normally as one. So I'm using it separately. You can choose to do that, or you can choose to mask, which is covering up parts of your stamp before you ink it. You can use like tape or whatever. And then you can ink it up, take the tape off and stamp it. And only the area that you didn't have the tape on will have the ink. So look up masking. I'm not going to demonstrate that today. But yeah, normally the stamp looks like that. It's all one. Okay? All right. So let's move these out of the way. And we'll let's start with our cardstock base, okay? All right. I do want to tell you, just because some of you keep up with my lives every week and you encourage me and you give me positive feedback, blah, 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 right? You're very good to me, basically. So I want to tell you what's going on in my life. Last week, I had mentioned to you that I injured my finger, this tendon right here. So I explained the story. I was basically stretching too far and I felt this pop. Well, I did go to the urgent care, it was called, right after my live last week. And this is diagnosed as a sagittal band rupture. So this tendon didn't really get dislocated. It's just not being held secure because the band, the cartilage-ish kind of tissue that holds it in place, is torn. And to repair that, you can either pray and keep your fingers still for weeks and weeks and weeks and hope that it, bonds a little bit, but typically it does not. So I'm having surgery, and I'm having surgery tomorrow because you want to actually repair it sooner than later. So the surgery is tomorrow, and you can't really tell. I mean, the swelling has gone down, but this little bump here is supposed to be more in the center, like on this finger. It's off to the side. So we can't really bend this finger in all the way. You'll see me maybe struggle a little bit, like with the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. That's kind of heavy, so I have to lift it with my left hand. Okay, we're gonna cut a little differently than normal for, let me zoom out just a bit here. For this 8.5 by 11 sheet, we're gonna cut at 5.5 inches in this direction because we really need a long piece in order to form the base of our card. So we're going to the 5.5 inch mark, and we're gonna have a piece that is 5.5 by, and we're cutting it to, and I'll just scoot this over a bit so you can see the whole thing. We're gonna go, so normally it's 11, we're gonna go back almost an inch, but we're gonna go to 10 and an eighth. So we're trimming off 7/8 of an inch, and now I'll zoom in, and we'll lift this up so you can see. Yep, you can see it. So we're gonna trim that off, and this can be used for maybe the sentiment piece that you add at the top of the card later on if you want to, but I'm gonna scrap that. We're tossing it aside. And now we're gonna put some score lines in here. So we're gonna score at 4.25 inches. My desk is full, you guys. So 4.25 inches. And then we're gonna move to 5.75 inches. And then we're gonna move to 7.25 and 8.75. So we're scoring every 1.5 inches, except for this section here isn't quite 1.5 inches. I made it 1/8 of an inch shorter because that way it will fit into the spot that it needs to be in. So we got all the score marks on there. Next, we're gonna trim up this piece. So this piece is More Dazzle paper, it's called. The More Dazzle paper comes in 2 different colors, a gold color and like a champagne color. We're gonna be using the champagne color just because, but you could use either one. They're calling it More Dazzle because they had some paper that was released a while ago that had, you know, just the word dazzle in it. So, so yeah, this is More Dazzle. And we're gonna trim that to 3 inches tall, or at least 3 inches tall. This way you could do 2 cards with one of these pieces. This piece is just under 1.5 inches. So it, thank you, Irene. Yes, I'm glad it can be repaired too. 1 3/8 inches is just under 1.5 inches. It's just gonna put me out of commission for a while. So I have been working really hard at getting some projects created so that all I have to do is take pictures and edit and blog. And I think I can do that with one hand because this hand, supposedly I won't be able to use for a whole 2 weeks. And then after that, they just put this finger in kind of the brace, and then, and then that's another like 6 weeks. So you might see not so much getting posted as I normally do. And next week's live is going to be just a sharing live, and it's just going to be on Facebook because I can't create. So I'm praying that I'll be able to create the following live. We'll see. We'll see. And I think I may, yes, some of you are talking about the word ambidextrous. I think I may develop some skills with that left hand. All right, so we're going to go to the 5 3/8 inch mark now. And we're going to trim a piece in this direction. And then we're going to trim it at 1 3/8 and 1 3/8 again. So these are going to be a couple layers that we put onto our card, and we're going to emboss them with that brick folder that I was telling you about. So that's that. I better look at my cheat sheet papers here. 1 3/8. Yes, okay, so far I'm doing great. The next one's going to be the one that we cut just over 1 1/8. So when we look at this, thank you, Beth. When we look at this, this is 1 1/8, and we want to go just over, which is really 3/16. So it's 1, 2, 3 of those tiny little marks. Okay? And we're going to trim that. And then what we have left here, we can use for punching leaves, although I do have an extra scrap that I brought in because we need some extra leaves, and we also need a little banner piece, and that banner piece measures 2 3/4 by 1 inches. And there's that piece. Okay, so we'll be using these for the scraps of our leaves and this for our sentiment piece. We might as well right now punch that sentiment piece. So let me introduce you to some punches. These are the punches that we'll be using today, and we have 3 of them. And I'm going to zoom out. We have 3 of them. This is the Banners Pick-a-Punch. So it creates banners. You can either put strips of cardstock in this end, or you can put it into this end, and you can get a notch that goes that way or a notch that goes that way. So let's go ahead and take our piece, and we need to open our punch, and we'll stick it in this way. And because it's not really long, I'm going to flip over my punch and make sure it's centered. And it looks like it's not quite. So we adjust. And I have to use my left hand for punching. So there is our banner that's going to go at the top of our card. This is going to get punched into one of the bottom sections here. So we can't see them yet, but this is going to be a side section here. Then we've got the middle, which is where our punch is going to go. We've got another side section over here. And I don't want to bend this yet because I want to do some blending brush stuff, and I don't want the crease of my cardstock to interfere too much. So if I angle this a bit, can you see the score lines that are in there? Maybe not. I can see them here, which is great because I'm the one that needs to see them. And I'm going to go ahead and punch this right in the center. I'm using the outside bent areas anyways as my guides. And I want to punch that. I pushed it all the way in, by the way. And now I'm going to punch. And this can get discarded. So that is going to be where our little punched area sits. These are the shaker domes that coordinate with that punch. So you take and you stick that in there, and it becomes a vase that can hold some flowers. So then I started, after I was playing with that, I'm like, oh my gosh, wouldn't it be fun to have a vase that has the illusion of just being a solid round shiny vase. So I stuck that paper back there, and now I just need some greenery and some pretty colors coming out the top. So it's time to use our blending brush. I'm going to flatten this down. Oh, and this is the bow punch. That punch punches out the leaves that we're going to need. So I'm going to take these 2 punches and set them aside because we're done with them. And let's bring in our scraps. And not all of these are scraps. These are the 3 that are going to get embossed, and we'll do that in just a second. But all these other things are going to get stamped on. So let's start stamping. Woohoo! My colors that I'm going to use today are Garden Green, Parakeet Party, Crumb Cake, and Lemon Lolly. And I'm wearing Lemon Lolly on my clothes today. I don't have very many green clothes. It's really weird. It's my favorite color, and I don't own a lot of green. But I am wearing leaf earrings kind of in my ears. Sort of. Okay, let's stamp. We need our blending brush. We're going to do our blending brush first. We're going to grab our blending brush that I've got coordinated with the Lemon Lolly color. These are the 2 different sizes of blending brushes that you can get through Stampin' Up. Either one of them works great. This one gives you a little bit more control of the detail areas, like smaller areas. But if you want a larger coverage, then this is a great size to go with. Stampin' Up! First came out with the large ones, so most of my colors, because I like to have 1 per color, I know that's a little too much, but most of my colors are in the larger size. You don't have to do that. You can take and have 1 assigned for all your yellows, 1 assigned for all your blues, you know what I mean? Or you can rinse them out in between. but then you have to wait for drying time, and I don't like to wait for drying time. Okay, to ink up your blending brush, you just go in a circular motion, either direction, just to get some ink on there, and then you can use your scrap paper if you want to test it out. Because we're using such a light color, I'm not really worried about that intensity of the color when I lay it down. I am going to focus on having yellow in this area as if there's a spotlight behind my leaves, okay? All right, so here we go. Oh, the boxes. Someone's asking about the boxes that I have. Those are from Stamp and Storage, STAMP-N-Storage. Stamp and Storage carries all kinds of fun things. If you look behind me, they also carry like all the paper holders and my ink pad holders and my blending blends marker holders and all of those big units, but they also have these small things like this here, and they've got like a case to put them in. So that's where I got that from. I should add that to the description of my video so you guys can get that. So you can see what I'm doing here. I'm making a nice glow around the top area of that vase. And I think if I look at my other card, oh, I did go a little further. I'm going to go a little further. Okay. Thanks, Carrie. You know, I used to do my nails, Carrie, and my nails always match my projects. But I have discovered over time that my nails are not that strong, and whenever I paint them, like already they're growing out. I painted them this summer, and they just get so brittle. So then they look really ugly for a while. So I try not to paint that often, but I was just in the mood to do it again, and I did it, and boom, I'm paying for it now. But yeah, used to paint them all the time. Nancy Clark just brought up that sometimes when she's out and about, she sees Stampin' Up! Colors, and she thinks of them in the Stampin' Up! Colors. I do that when I get clothes, when I go clothes shopping. I do the same thing. I think a lot of us that are kind of obsessed with a lot of Stampin' Up! Product do that. So she saw a car that was Lemon Lolly. Let's bring out Parakeet Party now. So we're going to grab the Parakeet Party color, and this is probably my favorite green right now. It's only good through the end of May. Gosh, this color is leaving, you guys. It's good through April, end of April. April 30th is when the annual catalog ends. So grab it if you like it. I'm going to be so sad when it's gone. It's just a bright, cheerful green. Okay, so this color is going to get stamped down. Now what I want to do is I want to put a mask here. Okay, I am going to mask from this spot on down just so that I protect my sides of my vases. Like I don't want ink to get here or here. Okay, I just want my leaves coming out the top of my vase. How many of you actually put leaves in a vase? I do. You don't have to have flowers. You can go to the, like the florist or wherever, and you can get the greenery. Sometimes the greenery lasts way longer than the flowers, and it's like worth the money. So, all right, so we're going to stamp, and I'm looking at my finished one. We're going to stamp this one up like, I'm just feeling for my, there we go. So that one's going to go here. So you can see what I'm doing now. I'm protecting that spot just in case it was going to go outside, okay? And then this one, I'm going to stamp here. And this is the one where I really have to make sure that I mask. And maybe I should have gone up a little higher. Now that leaf's going to look funny. That's okay. We'll try to cover it. But that leaf stem would have gone onto a bad spot. And now it just looks funny, but we'll fix it. Okay. Next is, I'm going to move that stamp aside. Next is the speckle stamp. So there's a speckle stamp that comes in this set. So we just use the solid leaf, and now we're going to use the speckle, and we're going to do that with the Parakeet Party color, but we're going to stamp off. We're going to remove some of the color, excuse me. So we're going to do what's called second generation stamping. So we stamp it down like that. Actually, you know what? I kind of like that. strong color. Let me see my finished one. I can't remember what I did, you guys. I think I did yellow. We're doing yellow and we're going to do full color. But if you wanted to do stamped off color, watch what happens. So this is full color or first generation. Without re-inking, that it would be called second generation. Okay, it's slightly lighter. Okay? Okay. I said OA. OA. All right, let's do... Clean off your stamp. Let's do it in the yellow color, Lemon Lolly. And we're just going to put a few speckles here and there. And they can go outside the edge. We're trying to keep everything in this panel, but the speckles can definitely go beyond. And we'll do a few up here. Because they're not a dominant thing. They're just a light little accent image. But yeah, if you want to do green speckles, you could too. Okay. All right, next is my garden green. So we need garden green, but we're going to be stamping onto some of our scraps. So let's do some leaves now. I want to do two sets of leaves that have the veins on them. So this is the vein image. Here, let me ink it and you can see it better. That one is the vein image, and we're going to do that twice. When you stamp, you want to stamp on a narrow strip like this and tilt it off to the right. We'll do that again. So we'll do two of these. And then we'll do one that has the swirly middle. And we'll do that one on this scrap here. Okay, so now we've got those stamps done. I'm going to take and move these out of the way. Sorry for the noise, you guys. That was right next to the mic. Oh my gosh. Okay. Next is inking. Oh, we're going to bring back the Parakeet Party stamp pad again. And we're going to do some inking on the insides of our leaves using what's called a blender pen. So we have blending brushes. We have blends markers, and then we have blender pens. Lots of products with the word blend in them. So if I make a mistake saying something, that's probably the reason. Okay, so you can either squish your ink pad together and you can have like this color that lands there, or you can take, which is a little bit easier, just your clear block and tap it in the corner. And then you can pick up a little spot of ink that way. So we're going to grab our blender pen. And this is the hardest thing, you guys. Writing has been really difficult without my middle finger. So we're going to dip our pen in there. And then we're going to start at the base of our leaf. And we're going to come in and color. And we want to fade to white. So we're just doing, this is so fun, you guys. Therapy. Coloring is therapy. It is so relaxing. So I would love to hear from some of you who have experienced no use of your dominant hand for some time and how you dealt with it. I'm fading to white, by the way, so you can see as I color, it gets lighter and lighter, but I'm purposely taking and not coloring the end either because I want it to be white there. And when it dries, it is even more stunning. It has a very soft look. It does something special to the ink around it. Oh, and this one hasn't dried that long, so it's actually grabbing some of the garden green color here. So these leaves might be a little bit more intense in dark green. There's some dark green hue to it. Sorry. So yeah, you'll want to let your leaves dry for a little bit before you add the Parakeet Party ink. Maybe I should have stamped these off to the side before the video started and pulled those in. You guys, it is so hard to hold a pen with your middle finger not working. One of my demonstrators, she came to help swap cards last week. Hi, CJ. And she brought her Layering Leaves stamp set. I'm just saying hi in case she's watching. She brought her Layering Leaves stamp set because I've been signing them. That's the thing, I guess. When you help create a stamp set, you sign your name on it. And she brought the case insert for me to sign. And I just said, you do not want me to sign it now because I really, my hand is not working. So, yeah, it's been fun to sign checks and all kinds of good things. Okay, we're done with that. So, and that's actually not so bad. There were a couple leaves like this one here, I thought brought in too much of the garden green from the edges, from the outline of the stamp, but it's not too bad. Okay, we're gonna open this punch up and we'll slide our leaves in here. And you wanna line up the bottom of the stem with the top leaf, and it should all line up. Punching is hard. Brushing my teeth is going to be interesting too because I have what's called, it's similar to Invisalign. It's these aligners for my teeth made by 3M. And because I wore braces when I was a kid and then I lost my retainer in college and I decided I wanted my teeth to get in alignment again. I can afford it now. This is a time in my life where I want them back to the way I had them. So I invested in these things, and you have to take them out by prying your finger in there and getting under it. And I can't do it with my left hand. Plus, you have to hold it in one hand and use your toothbrush in the other hand to clean it. So I told my husband, I said, you're going to have the dirty job of cleaning my aligners several times a day. All right, these leaves get added now. And they get added by, how are we doing that? We're going to add this one to the back. Notice there's a little bit of a curvature already to them because they were punched out. So I don't necessarily need to have the bone folder, but if you want to give your leaves a little bit of character, you can come in and give them, like a special kind of curl, make them kind of, curve out a little bit in different directions so they look more natural. Let's grab our precision tip bottle, take off the cap part, shake it to the base, and I'm just going to add some multi-purpose liquid glue behind the stem and these bottom 3 leaves. That should hold it in place enough. And now I want to come in and place this in the middle. And I think it's going to go right about there. We try to make our cards similar to the ones that you see on the photos. So when you go to my blog post, the pictures that you see are not of the one that I just demonstrated because that would take I'd have to be Speedy Gonzalez to be able to do that. No, those are from, I'm just going to bend this now. I can bend it now. Yeah. Yep, that's centered enough. But those are from the original card that I made. So, okay, let's add a little bit of character to this leaf set and stick that one down. Now this one's going to go off to the side a bit. And when it goes off to the side, in fact, we will just, now that we're done stamping, we can pull this away. We are going to have this column folded like that on this side. So when we glue this down, you can see that those leaves on over here shouldn't have any glue behind them. If they do, it's going to cause you trouble. So we're just going to put our hand over that area and make sure that we get no adhesive there. Let's just focus on the stem and those 2 leaves over there. We'll add this in and we're going to make it come down a bit. Like so. Okay. So, and some of my glue went off to the, to the bottom here. Now what I want to do, and I might as well do some of it now, is I'm going to trim. So you can see it's going to give the illusion that it's going into the bottle. So I'm trimming right at the top of that punched out vase shape. Okay, next one. And we might as well fold this one so you can see that too. You give it a good crease with the bone folder. Okay, might as well crease these. Also, since we have the bone folder out, let's just crease them all. Alrighty, there we go. So now our leaves, this last set of leaves is going to come out to that side. So we don't want any glue on this side, but we can put glue over here. So we're just going to put a little bit through here. Maybe a little bit right there. And stick these down like so. Oh, and you know what would be fun is if you brought and you like layered, because I did that on my other one, like this leaf here, and I can't do it now because it's, oh, maybe I can. I'm going to pull it up. I'm pulling it up and through. I'm kind of interweaving them. So there we go. So that leaf now from the back one is on top. It makes it look more natural, right? All right, next we're going to stamp our sending. We're doing all the decorating before we do the connection of the column on the card. We want to do all our decorating first. That's important. So let's get our stamp that says sending hugs that I cut into 2 pieces. And we're going to stamp the sending on this 1-inch tall piece here, like that. This is our crumb cake color. And then our hugs is going to go on the inside here. Now when I put this down flat, because this is how it's going to connect, like a column like this, I will have the space off to this side to put the word hugs. So I'm going to flatten this down. That means I don't want to go any further than this area here, but I'm also going to have another piece that's decorating this side here. So I'm just going to lay that down there so that I see the center here. And we're going to ink this and stamp the word hugs. And I'm going to bring it down a little bit so that it's sitting lower than my word sending. Oh my gosh, I just realized I have a very juicy ink pad. Do you guys see that? That puddle? I'll tip it. Yeah, when you get that, you can just take a paper towel or whatever and soak up the excess ink. That happens every once in a while, especially when your ink pad is new. If it's pooling in a couple areas, just soak it up because they just gave you plenty of ink is what happened. But it's less messy. Oh, look what I did. I got ink there. It's less messy if you clean off that ink spot pile before you do your stamping. That's going to get covered up anyways. I'm just checking my hands. I think we're good. Okay. Yeah, I got a little splattering on the back side here, and I think my hands are ink free. Okay, so this is going to go on next, and we're going to put that at the very top on dimensionals. See, this is another reason that we don't photograph the card that I demonstrate, because if I did, it would be an ugly mess. Oh, actually, I usually don't do too bad, but that's a messy little spot there. And we're just going to bring this leaf up and have that sticking out and lay this down so it's lined up with the top of the card. Like that. Okay, so it's right along the edge of that card. Now we have all our stamping in the right place. See, this one's a little bit too long because I forgot to cut in this direction, so we want to cut that also to 5 3/8 inches. And now we can go and let's emboss these. So we'll set this off to the side on our table here. We'll cap our glue to keep it fresh and flowing, and we'll bring in our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So this is our handy dandy tool that cuts and embosses. Hang on. And I'll zoom out. Okay, we're going to be using the, that's the wrong folder. We're going to be using the brick one. Let me find it. Here it is. Okay, the exposed brick embossing folder. Do you see the image that you can get with this? It's really cool. But I've noticed that people are using it so that the brick is going inside. And I mean, brick can look either way, right? But I feel like there's a direction with this, so I'm going to use it in a certain way. We're going to take our cutting mats off. We don't need those. And we're going to take our die adapter plate off. We don't need that. And we're just going to use the base with number 4 because this is a 3D or thicker embossing folder. We'll open it up, and it really doesn't matter if we, have our paper on this side or whatever, but I do want the bricks to go horizontally on my card. I don't want them up and down. I'm just going to set them right next to each other. That works. And now we're going to lay this down with the seam going in first. This will get placed on top. And we'll make sure that the sides look like they're not diagonal. And we crank it. I'm just cranking this handle over here, turning that in one direction. It's bringing the plates through, and the rollers inside are squishing all of this together so that in the end we have, this is so fun, you guys. We have these bricks. They're super cool, and they look like exposed bricks on a wall. Some of the plaster's still there. If you flip them over, you get that look, which is also fun. But then you got the mortar, going the other direct. I don't know. It looked more real going this way to me. You can do it however you want. You're the creative people, right? So I got a skinnier one, and I got the wider ones. And so when we bring our card back in, well, I really got ink on this, you guys. Look at that mess. Yeah, I should not have cleaned up my ink pad. Okay, I'm going to use seal adhesive to lay, but I don't want to press too hard because I don't want my embossing to come out. There we go. I'm going to use seal adhesive to put adhesive on the back side of these strips of paper, but you could use your multi-purpose liquid glue. I'm laughing because I've been calling it two-way glue, you guys. That we had a long time ago. Oh, maybe I miss it? I don't know. The multi-purpose liquid glue. You could use that instead. You could use tear and tape adhesive. Lots of different choices here. Okay, see how that just makes it look so cool? I just love that look. Okay, and then we want one over here. So we're going to lay this one on this side, like that. Too fun. Okay, next, we're not done yet. We have to do the vase, and you could do it technically when your card is put together. We could finish off the vase area here, but I want to do it now. And hang on, this is bugging me. It's a good thing I didn't press it down super hard. It is not centered, you guys. Okay, that looks better. All right, maybe it's this one. Hold on, I'm gonna move this one. Da 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 da. Get the leaves up there. Okay, I think the bottom, did you guys notice the bottom? The bottom wasn't lined up. Now it looks lined up. Okay, next is the vintage vase, the little shaker bottle thing here, and we also have this paper that needs to go back there. So on these little shaker domes, you have a top paper that can get peeled off, and you have a bottom right here. Okay, they're sticky on both sides. First, we're going to remove the top. And then we're going to take our hole and lay it over, line it all up, and press it into place. So now that is stuck on the cardstock right here on the inside. Now we're going to take this off, and we're going to lay this against here. I do want to add just a little bit of extra adhesive. So I'm going to put just a little bit more. I'm going to glue down here. and up here. That's why I made it 3 inches, just to have that extra length. And that's going to get stuck in here like that. And now we have our vase. It looks like it's a solid vase with flowers coming out the top, but it's got that shine because it's a 3D thing. And yeah. Right. Let's take adhesive now and put that along here. We want it all along that section. And we're going to lay this down like that. So we're folding that one flat back. We're going to press the whole thing down this way. And when we pop it back up, it has a column going down the middle. And if we press it in this direction, it fits into our greeting card envelope. We have envelopes that are this size, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. If you bring it this way, you're opening the card so you can have your message here. You could also write on the glittery backside, I should call it the inked up backside, but you could put your message back here if you wanted to. So again, bubble mailer, because look at the height of that shaker dome. It's pretty high. I want to say it's about 1/4 inch high. And with all the layers of the cardstock added in, my card thickness is over, or maybe just under 1/2 inch. So that's pretty high. And if you don't want this getting squished or whatever, yeah, so I would go for that. So here is the other one that I made for the photographs. Obviously the greens aren't as dark because I let it dry. So folded flat, folded open. There's the card. There it is, you guys. We did it. Woohoo! I'm glad you like it. I also have another version that I put together, and I was working on another one. I'm not sure if I'll get it done before the end of the day today, because again, after tonight I won't be able to create for quite a while. But this one will be on a future blog post. So it's using the translucent florals, and it's pretty gosh darn pretty in my mind. So, all right, so there's that. What do I want to tell you about? We had some things added to our clearance rack. If you have not visited my blog before, my website is stampyourartout.com. Anytime you click on a shop button on that site, it will take you to the online store. When you're there, click on the clearance rack, because things were added yesterday morning and there's still a lot left in there. Every once in a while they do what's called a clearance rack refresh, and they add products that have been sitting around for a while that they don't want to just throw away. Sometimes they donate products, but oftentimes they'll take these extra surplus of products and they'll put them in the clearance rack at a certain time. So take advantage of that. Also, you can shop for any of the products that I have shared with you today, except for the sticky notes and the precision bottle off the Stampin' Up! Store. The precision bottle is linked in my description of my video, in my blog post, on that PDF. You should be able to access that. That's one of my favorite extras. You can find my favorite extras in my website as well under the shop tab. You click there and you'll go to favorite extras. It'll take you to things that I purchased from Stampin' Storage, the Country Hive, places like that. So, okay, what else do I want to tell you about? We have currently, we're in the process of waiting for our September paper pumpkin kit. If you're a kit fan, that is starting to arrive in people's mailboxes. And then the next kit is already advertised. If you go to my blog at stampyourartout.com, and I'm just going to take you there for a minute. So bring you over to my computer. Almost there. For some reason, my transitioning to my website is taking a lot longer than normal. I don't know why. Here's that shop tab I was talking about, favorite extras. But if you go to the blog portion of my site, it's going to take you to the last blog post I did. And at the bottom of every blog post that I ever do is a section on promotional things that are going on with Stampin' Up! Stampin' Up! News. So anytime you want to know what's the latest and greatest going on, click on blog. And again, we're having some wait time here. So we're just going to scroll past this card here, and you can come down below. And it just talks about some of like special release paper, crafting for a cause. World Card Making Day is coming up. So check out all of that news. This is one of the newer kits in the kits collection. The October paper pumpkin kits being advertised. My group's tutorial video class bundle is there. So all of that is right in there. I invite you to check it out. What else do I want to tell you before we go? I think I talked about all of the news. We have prizes. Can't leave before prizes. Yay, Deborah got her paper pumpkin kit on Monday. I think that's when I got mine too. Hoping I can create some things before I go on my rest break here. So we'll see what we can do about that. Prizes, let me grab those. So we're gonna take last week's. Here they are. And here's the other half of it. So the people who had last week's names drawn on the live drawing, they grabbed up their prizes. They were very good to respond. So yay. Prize winners for after live comments from that video are, did I say prize winners? They are, here we go. Susan Clement. That was our winner off of the YouTube after live comments. And then on Facebook, we had Chris Rademacher-Reichs. I hope I said you guys' last names right. So reach out to me at stampyourartout@comcast.net. I want to make sure that you get your prizes. What is the prize, Rachel? Oh gosh, let's go back to our desktop. So the prize winners from last week's after live comments, you get to pick a pack. You get a pack of envelopes, and then you also get to pick from a pack of embellishments. And we have these goodies left. Okay, and now what prize are we going to have today? Well, because I need to save on my quote-unquote workload, I put quotes around it because to me it's not work, but because of that, we're going to do tutorials. So if your name is drawn from Trisha from the live comments from today, you can choose a PDF of a tutorial bundle type thing, and you can go to my website to find them. So let me take you there, and we're going to go to Stamp Your Art Out. Oops, there we go. All right, so when you're here, you're going to go to Shop, and you're going to go to Tutorials, and you're going to click on the word Tutorials. This is where you get to find which item you want to have for free. So you can pick from any of them. Your choice, okay? And when we're there, look at that. There's a bunch. There's pages and pages and pages of them. So you're going to just scroll through those numbers and keep looking till you find one that appeals to you the most, okay? All right, so who do we have? Who did we pick out? I bet she already announced the winners. I'm scrolling through the names. I don't see the winners announced yet. So maybe they have been. All right. Oh, there they are. Okay, I'm going to go back in my comments here and see if I can find her comment and just pin it. Yay, yay, yay. I can't. I'm gonna, oh, there it is. Yay, I found it, Trisha. Thank you for posting it a zillion times if you did. Today's winners are Debbie in Kansas, USA. That's a fun name. And Maureen Rosenbaum. Congratulations to both of you. I will take and put, oops, yes. Yes, congratulations to the winners. I love it. Let me put my email address back up there. There we go. So reach out to me at stampyourartout@comcast.net so that you can claim your prize. Make sure that you email me, stampyourartout@comcast.net, not .com. Otherwise, I have no way of getting in touch with most of you. And I think that's it. So again, next week, because my right hand, my dominant hand, will not be of use, I probably can't demonstrate a card. So I will be doing show and tell one-handed on Facebook only. make sure that you are with me on Facebook. So if you are not on Facebook yet, you can take a peek at that live next week, same time, 11 a.m. Central Time on Wednesday, September 27th. And you just show up on the Facebook page around that time. You might have to refresh your screen a few times, but the live will show up, and you click on it and you can see all the fun cards that I've been getting lately, cards that have been gifted to me. I have a big pile of show and tell stuff to show, so I'm excited. Some of them are from swap cards, some of them are from a birthday that I had last month. So all kinds of good stuff. And then after that is when I hope to go live normally again. We'll see. The doctor says 2 weeks before I'm out of that brace, but I might by then be able to maneuver my fingers. Anyways, I have the project already created, and I want to show it to you on Wednesday, October 4th at 11 a.m. I'll be live on both YouTube and Facebook at that time. If I find a couple days beforehand that I can't do it, I might find a friend or family member to come and help me. So we're going to be live no matter what. I'm not giving up. Thanks, everybody. You take care. I hope you have a healthy and happy week ahead, and blessings to you all. Now I'd like you all to go and stamp your art out. Bye-bye.